stay on Riverside until your recording has fully uploaded. But that usually takes like a matter of seconds, sometimes minutes. But yeah, so if you see that, that's what that is. So, starting all over, Mary, why did you become a Redbird leader?
Hmm. Well, I became a Redbird leader after I had, oh, sorry, I'm going to start over. I became a Redbird leader after my diocese asked for me to become the chapter advocate. And I had done that because my son, my oldest son, Chad, was diagnosed with ALS and died within a year after diagnosis. And after his death, I just struggled greatly with needing support. And from a Catholic perspective, because that's so important to me, my faith is my heart. And so I was looking desperately for Catholic support and found Redbird through a good friend of mine who works at the diocesan office. And Sharon found Redbird and asked me to take a look at it. And I just loved what I found. So she asked me if I'd teach a class. So I taught got the training from Kelly and all, and taught my first Redbird class to a dozen other grieving hearts just like mine. And after I had taught that class, I knew that this was my new ministry and my new mission to help others in the same position that I am in with child loss. I had suffered a lot of great losses of loved ones throughout my life, but nothing prepared me for the loss of my child. It was a different type of grief. It was a different forever for my life that is just not natural to lose your child. And I struggled greatly with it. But Redbird just gave me the hope and the support and the help I needed in the focus of child loss. I'm forever grateful.
Thank you, Mary. That was beautiful. Our second question this evening is how have you been supported by Redbird as a leader since joining our team?
I have been supported by Redbird in so many ways. In fact, I can't think of a way I haven't been. There's just no other way to say it. I have been so impressed and thankful with Kelly and Ryan and the way they have developed Finding the Passion of Christ in Your Story. It is the most beautiful book journal that I have found after Chad's death that has helped me start to heal. I know I will grieve the rest of my earthly life, but I have this now and I help others with it. And so it's that combination of helping support others in their grief that has helped me with my own in so many ways. And so I have people that I know that have lost a child. I show them the book and talk to them about it. And Redbird has given me so many great ideas. And with the Redbird app that I check all the time with all the podcasts and all the information that's there and all the ways that we can support one another through that has been very, very helpful. And being with Hallow, that has helped also. That makes it very easy to even get additional support. But whenever I call Redbird, there's always somebody on the other line. Or when I email Redbird, there's always somebody there that answers my questions. And it's oftentimes you. So I appreciate you very much. But, like Elizabeth, anyone who is really speaking, like Leo's Lions, just all the different areas that you have to support all of us who are all over the United States and now the world with ways to support us with our grief. Everyone is important and everyone is felt and everyone makes a difference. So Redbird is kind of become that full package resource for whatever my needs happen to be that day that I reach out. I get support, I get help, and I feel better. It's amazing to me. You are all such a godsend.
Thank you, Mary. I'm so glad. These are exactly like this is exactly the experience we want our leaders to have. We want all of our leaders to feel like they can be served as families first. So it's always just great to hear your witness in that, because even when we become leaders, like we're still, at the end of the day, we're parents. You know, we go home and we take off our Redbird hat, and we're still parents. And yeah, I'm
Know
really
that you made a difference
yeah.
every day.
Thank you, Mary. We're so grateful. Our third and final question before we go back through and kind of do the shorter version. Our third and final question is, what would you say to someone who was considering maybe becoming a Redbird leader?
My profession has been a teacher. I'm now retired, but I've been a teacher, so it's easy for me. I have the skill set that I can take a program and feel very, very comfortable teaching it. But I can also say the way you have all set it up that anyone can do that. It's all right here. It's all right in our training, and then how the leader's guide, it's all right there for us. So it's very easy to do. I would recommend it highly, because in helping others, you help yourself. In I get it in your own grieving heart and reaching out to others who feel that very same grief. I have become so close to all the people that have been in my classes now that I just am overwhelmed with the generosity and the sharing and the commitment we've made to one another in sharing our grief, and the trust that we build in our community, because we really become a community and stay in touch long after the classes are over. So it is just it's a win-win situation for everyone who participates in it as a leader. And if I, like I said, whenever I have any questions, I can reach out to Redbird, and you've been there to help me and support me and guide me and where I should go and what I should do and how I could do it. And so I never felt alone in leading a class. I've always I feel the love coming from Redbird, and I carry that with me and take it to my classes and share it with everyone. And one of the first things I always make sure that they do is download the Redbird app so that they have that support too, and all the different ways that you do support all of us with grieving hearts.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was beautiful. All of your answers to the questions, perfect. Now our last and final pass through, we're just going to go through those same questions again. But if you could just maybe just condense the answers a little bit. That's why I like to go through like the full length one, just speak freely first. So you're like, okay, that's kind of like what I'm thinking. And then you can just kind of give the shorter version the second time, if that sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to be shocked to hear this question, but Mary, why did you become a Redbird leader?
I became a Redbird leader after my oldest son, Chad, passed away less than a year after he was diagnosed with ALS. And I was struggling greatly for support, especially from the Catholic perspective, and really couldn't find it. And then a friend of mine did find Redbird Ministry. She worked at the Wichita Catholic Diocese at that point in time and brought it to me. And I started reading it and fell in love with it first time I read it. And so I started teaching a Redbird class. After I taught the Redbird class, I knew I wanted to help others that were grieving just like me, and have been teaching the classes for our diocese ever since.
Beautiful. Thank you. And on to question number 2. How have you felt supported as a Redbird leader?
I have felt supported as a Redbird leader in every way. I've never not been supported. It's so easy to pick up the phone and call when I have a question or a concern. There's always help and support at the other end. And I appreciate that beyond measure because it is so important as a chapter advocate and then as a leader in teaching the classes that when something comes up that I'm not sure of or when I would like some important information and or spiritual direction or whatever the case may be, all I have to do is contact Redbird and I get that help and support.
Perfect. You're like a news anchor. It's like you were born to do this.
Well, I think Chad died for me to do this, to be honest. I mean, that's, because I just had to do something to help others when I realized just how intense the pain of losing a child is.
Yeah.
And how it stays with you in a different way than other loss.
Well, thank you, Chad.
Yeah.
This is his continued ministry, his continued mission on earth.
It is.
This is how we get to know him until then. So our final question tonight is, hang on, it's coming to me. Right. What would you tell someone who's thinking about being a Redbird leader?
I would tell anyone who was thinking about becoming a Redbird leader to do it. It is such a way to help others with the grieving hearts that we know so intensely. And it's one of those that you give and receive simultaneously, because when you're helping with being a leader and helping others with that grief, it helps you as well. I always begin my classes with a prayer to myself, and it's always all for the glory of God and to honor and remember Chad. And so that's my driving force. And I know Chad's in heaven with God now, and I want others to have that confidence that their children are in heaven with God, and together we grieve every time in every class, and every time we walk out and our hearts are joined forever with this grief of losing our child. We understand one another, we help one another, we support one another, and we continue on this earthly journey together with child loss grief.
Thank you, Mary. Well, this was beautiful. You are so articulate. I think this will be very, very helpful. That's really all we had for you.
Okay. I have one more thing for you. If you have 1 minute.
I do, yeah.
There's something I've been wanting to talk to you and Kelly about for over a year. I was hoping to when Rick and I came to the soiree a year ago, and it didn't work out. The timing just wasn't right. And anyway, cut to the point. I've had a near-death experience.
Yeah.
And I felt called in my grief classes to share that near-death experience, and it has really helped the people. And I just didn't know. I don't know what I want to do with that information. I can tell you guys the story sometime if you ever would like to hear it. And I would like to tell you, because I have been saying it now in Wichita, and so the word's getting out that I've had this. I did share it at a seasoned servant symposium about a year ago now. And I guess I just would like confirmation from you guys that it is something to share in grief class, or should I maybe not?
I mean, my initial inclination is, as we say with like all things, using good discernment as always, and just listening to the Holy Spirit. Can you tell me, when you say near-death experience, and I can sense this like real meaning behind that, is this like a sort of like special revelation like to you in that time? Or like, can you tell me a little bit more about, you don't have to, go into the whole thing. I just, cause I want you to have time when you do that, but could you tell me more about like what is the meaning of what you're sharing when you share
I
that?
had a glimpse of heaven.
Mm.
I actually died 2 or 3 times very close together. I it was Chad's birth. Yeah, I still it takes my breath away to this day. But it
Mm.
also my mother had made me promise not to tell my story, not to share my story, and so I didn't, and it was on her deathbed in 2010. It happened to be mom and I were alone that afternoon before we were putting her in hospice. We knew she was going to go, and my mom really opened up and started telling me these regrets that she had.
Mm.
And it was kind of shocking to me, some of the things that she said, and I've never repeated those. That was, very private between my mom and myself. But I said, when she was kind of finished there, I said, "Well, mom, there's one more." And she said, "I know." She goes, "I should have never made you promise." And I
Mm.
said, "Well, that's okay. I kept my promise. I haven't shared it." But I said, "I've been receiving these thoughts and this little," I said, "I think it's the Holy Spirit saying one of these days it's going to be time for you to share your story."
Mm.
And so then when Chad passed and I found Redbird, I thought, okay. And it just came up in the one class. There were so many people that were so angry with God and
Mm.
and didn't really know what to think about heaven, that I shared my story with them. And I said, "Well, I have and I was always saying I've got great confidence that Chad's in heaven."
Mhm.
And it's because of my experience that I did have that confidence. Anyway, so I have been sharing it, and
Mhm.
like I said, I'm happy to tell you all if anyone who wants to hear it sometime, if you would like to.
Have you ever thought about writing it?
I have, and I absolutely have the words. I've even tried to record and then just type it. I can't get it down on paper.
That's not the medium. That's
It's
okay.
not yet. I
Well,
still
can I tell you, if it's any consolation, this is not in the slightest like worrying, or I don't think this is a problem in the slightest. Um, just in the same way that like, we all share our personal private revelations, and we share them as such, and we say like, this is what I've received. Um, and that's just part of, I think, journeying with people in faith, is saying like, this is a consolation I've received. And I mean, I don't know, Mary, unless you somehow received some vision that is wildly contrary to what our faith teaches, which I know I
Yeah.
think is unlikely. Yeah, I mean, like, it would be different if you were like saying something controversial of like, well, like, I had a glimpse of heaven and purgatory is not real, right? Like, if there was some like doctrinal implication. But if you were given that gift, um, I cannot think of a single reason why it's any more wrong for you to share that gift than it is for anyone else to share the special consolations that they've received. So that does not worry me.
Okay.
And I don't think it would worry Kelly at all either. I think she would think that's amazing and would definitely want to hear.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe we find a little time, just a little tea and hear Mary's witness time. Do you know, like on the revival retreat, Elizabeth shares this kind of vision, sort of, that this very powerful imagery that she received in her grief and in her healing journey. And she leads everyone through it as kind of like this visual meditation. And sure, that was a personal revelation that she received, but it also resonates with the truths of our faith. It resonates with what many saints have also said about, like the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Like, it's all very harmonious. And I feel like that's how we know that like this is very safe to share, is if it's like harmonious. And I think I mean, again, I'm like aching to know, but I think yeah, I don't know. I want it to be like a special designated time
Okay.
when you share it so that we can like cherish that. It just feels very holy ground. I don't want to be like, oh, just throw it out there
Yeah.
random time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does that like, is that the kind of answer you were looking for? Okay. Yes. I'm so glad that that's a blessing to the people you work with. And I think that obviously God in his providence knew
Thank you.
that you would be the group leader and that those people would need that. And yeah. Do you have a spiritual director?
Well, I do, the priest that was at St. Catherine's all those years he serves as my spiritual director too, but Carolyn Spexarth is one also.
Yes.
So yes, but she's gotten so busy that I haven't even talked to her now. Well, I've talked to her for just brief times, but I haven't gotten to really use her. So I need to get one again. I've been thinking
Yeah,
about that
maybe-
in my mind, actually.
I was like, maybe if you have someone that you have been having more regular contact with, so like, a spiritual director who you've been having regular contact with already that you feel comfortable with, maybe just like, share with them and see if they have any thoughts on, you know, um, just like prudence in terms of like when and how to share. Um, again, I don't think there would be any issue with like what you received. Like I this is not like like go seek out criticism of this beautiful gift you've received, but more like if you're feeling like you want additional like prudence on like, when and how do I share this? Or like, how do I judge when is a good time to introduce this thing I've received? I think that could be a good pathway for you. There's always Miss Kathy.
Yes, that's true. I have thought of her too.
Lovely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will give her a call.
Everyone's grandma. We love her. Yeah, if you wanted to like get, multiple opinions, Begonia's on the app now. She does Spanish, or she's there for Spanish, but she does English as well. So yeah, like you have options. So maybe like just consider who feels like a safe person to kind of entrust that with, and someone who you feel like will like receive that with reverence. Because that's clearly a huge gift. And very, very special and a very, very sacred gift. So yeah, just entrusting that to someone who will honor that.
Yeah, it's always a risk putting it out there. And I always say you don't have to agree with me or anything, but I do just tell my story. So
Yeah, which is what
put it out there and they can do with it what they want, ask questions. There's always questions afterwards.
there's always like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, like another reason it could be good to have a spiritual director is even just to like safeguard that. Because like when we've received something that is such a profound gift, there are going to be like seeds of doubt, or there are going to be discouragements or things that are sown against that, be that from outside or from within us. And so just being on guard against that, and yeah, like leaning more deeply into like what is the Lord unfolding in me and in our relationship together, like through this gift he's given me, so that I can like hold on more and more deeply to that truth. And also be like prepared to be mindful of times when maybe this gift is being like criticized or accused by the enemy of my soul. Yeah.
Well, thank you very, very much. That's, as always, very helpful.
I'm very glad. So yeah, no, definitely check in with the spiritual director, and then maybe just like shoot me an email and we can have a little chat with Kelly. I feel like Elizabeth would love to be. I feel like
I would
invite you to our all hands team call and I'll be like, Mary has something to share with us. And I'm sure everyone will be thrilled to hear it.
Okay.
Um,
Anyone is fine.
yeah, I was like, well, our team includes there's Kelly, there's me, Elizabeth, Brittany,
Mhm.
Jessica, who's our child life specialist, and then Janice, who's another mom of loss, and
Mhm.
she does our kind of like other fundraising event stuff, and Victoria, who's our new hire. So the only person there who isn't a parent of loss is Victoria,
Mm.
but she has experienced a great deal of hardship in her life in terms of like terminal illnesses and things.
Mm.
So I'm sure she would be very, I just know everyone would be extremely receptive and just delighted to share your gift and to share your joy.
Well, keep me in mind and let me know when we might make that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me know when you get a chance to chat with the spiritual director just to kind
Okay.
of like give you some
I will let you know.
peace and clarity additionally, beyond just me saying it's totally fine. But yeah, don't worry about Redbird people.
Thank you.
Bless you, Mary.
Bless you too. I will see you Monday night.
See you Monday night. Take care.
Good night.
Goodbye.